Has Putin's missile arsenal just received a critical new lifeline directly from Kim Jong Un, as North Korea reportedly steps back in to fill Russia's growing production gap? As Zelensky braces for another wave of incoming strikes, is Kim now flooding Moscow with a fresh supply of deadly KN-23 ballistic missiles? Once widely mocked for repeatedly failing on the battlefield, has the KN-23 now quietly transformed into one of Putin's most trusted top weapons? Can Ukraine's air defenses actually stop this stronger and deadlier version of the KN-23 before it strikes Ukrainian cities yet again? Experts now say that North Korea's missile lifeline to Russia appears to have been fully revived after a period of apparent slowdown. North Korea has reportedly resumed actively shipping its KN-23 ballistic missiles directly to Russia in recent weeks. The open-source intelligence outlet Polkovnik GSH reported these shipments, citing sources with direct ties to Ukrainian intelligence circles. The report explained that Russia urgently needs these missiles because its own domestic production simply cannot keep pace with wartime demand. The KN-23 is a road-mobile, solid-fuel short-range ballistic missile, giving it the flexibility to launch quickly from a wide range of locations. Within North Korea itself, this same missile is officially known by its domestic designation, the Hwasong-11A. The missile flies along a low, depressed trajectory rather than a typical high-arcing ballistic path. This unusual flight path is specifically designed to complicate enemy interception efforts by keeping the missile lower and harder to track. In both design and performance, the KN-23 closely resembles Russia's own Iskander-M ballistic missile system. North Korea first tested this missile back in 2019, well before it ever saw actual combat use in Ukraine. Russia first fired a North Korean-supplied KN-23 missile into Ukraine on December 30, 2023, marking its combat debut in this war. Reports at the time indicated that these early KN-23 missiles often missed their intended targets entirely or simply broke apart before impact. Ukrainian officials specifically noted that some of these early missiles missed their targets by more than a full kilometer. Russian specialists later went on to modify the missile's design after months of real combat use and feedback gathered directly from Ukraine. Analysts now broadly agree that the KN-23 has become far more accurate and reliable compared to its rocky first deployment years earlier. Ukrainian intelligence reported that Russia received more than 100 North Korean missiles throughout the entirety of 2024 alone. According to Ukraine, Pyongyang was expected to deliver an additional 148 KN-23 missiles to Russia throughout 2025. Notably, North Korea has also deployed more than 10,000 of its own troops to directly support Russian forces on the ground. Russia has reportedly gone as far as adapting certain North Korean missile designs into improvements for its own Iskander missile program. This report comes as Ukraine's president has already warned that Russia could be preparing to launch a fresh wave of new missile strikes soon. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has warned that Russia could launch a fresh wave of missile strikes within the next 48 hours, raising concerns over another major escalation in the conflict. Zelensky said Ukrainian intelligence suggests that a new Russian missile attack could happen as early as today or at any point within the next 2 days, prompting heightened security measures.
This afternoon, the Russians launched a strike on Kyiv and the surrounding region. It was a ballistic missile attack. The target in the Bucha district of the Kyiv region was an event that definitely should not have been taking place there. Today we spoke with Prosecutor General Ruslan Kravchenko. Law enforcement authorities have provided reports, and criminal investigations have already been opened into what happened. Of course, the strike was caused by Russian missiles. It was purely Russian terror. But we've told everyone 1,000 times that in these wartime conditions, with an enemy like this, it's absolutely impossible to hold any weapons exhibitions with large crowds of people, and especially near residential buildings. We know from intelligence sources and our partners that the Russians have prepared missiles for a new massive strike against Ukraine. This strike could happen today. Preliminary information indicates it will occur within the next 48 hours. Please stay safe and pay attention to air raid sirens. We have clear intelligence indicating that Russia is preparing a new and substantial wave of mobilization for this autumn. At present, Russia is losing more troops on the battlefield than it is recruiting, yet Russian President Vladimir Putin intends to intensify the attacks and further expand this war. He needs more Russians to take part in assault operations.
The warning comes in the aftermath of a deadly Russian ballistic missile strike carried out near Kyiv on July 24th, which caused significant casualties and widespread destruction. According to media reports, at least 10 people were killed in the attack, while nearly 100 others suffered injuries of varying severity as emergency crews rushed to the scene. Among those killed was Valentina Savitska, the head of the Center for International Cooperation and Strategic Communications at Ukraine's State Security Service, whose death has drawn widespread attention following the devastating strike. The missile strike reportedly hit an arms exhibition that was being held at a privately operated military training facility, causing heavy damage to the site. A spokesperson for Ukraine's armed forces confirmed that 2 Russian missiles directly struck the private shooting range where the military-related exhibition was taking place. Emergency officials also reported that the attack damaged 27 residential homes and 44 vehicles, highlighting the broader impact of the strike on nearby civilian infrastructure. Meanwhile, Russia claimed that its missile strike specifically targeted an exhibition showcasing Ukraine's long-range unmanned aerial vehicle, or UAV, technology used in attacks on civilian infrastructure deep inside Russia. According to Russian state media outlet RT News, Moscow alleged that several of Ukraine's leading drone developers were attending the gathering when the missile struck. Russia further claimed that members of Ukraine's Unmanned Systems Command were also present at the event, describing it as a legitimate military target. The Kremlin additionally said that Ukrainian special services involved in planning and coordinating drone attacks against Russia were present at the venue during the strike. The missile attack also came just one day after President Zelensky hosted representatives from Raytheon in Kyiv for discussions on strengthening Ukraine's air defense capabilities. The meeting reportedly focused on Ukraine's Patriot air defense systems, along with future cooperation aimed at improving the country's ability to defend against aerial threats.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you'll have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.